Hi people, Daniel from Devil & Sons Guitars here, and welcome to a bonus Great Guitar Build-Off video for my Staff of Light guitar, which hopefully you've all seen. You've seen my final video and the 5 previous videos of the making of it, and maybe you've even gone to vote for me over on the Great Guitar Build-Off website because you like the guitar. Well, if you've seen it, you know that it's quite a delicate guitar that could be easily broken. So one thing I needed to make for it was a custom case. So I started the custom case design with these 2 images, which I sent to Doctor Gothic, who I co-designed the guitar with. Asked him which one he liked. He said, surprise me. So I did. This is him looking surprised or happy. Either way, he's got a guitar in a case. So I started by printing out that image I just showed you, the one I chose, over a series of pieces of A4 paper the size of the case, which I then taped together actually on the case itself. That is a process I use when I'm transferring images to guitars as well. Sometimes I print over a number of pieces of paper and then fit it onto the guitar. What you can see here is I'm covering the case with masking tape, and then I'm going to be using carbon paper. For those of you too young to know, carbon paper was invented for typewriters, and it basically allows you, when you're typing, to type onto a page and it prints it through to the next page if you sandwich the carbon paper in between, because the layer of carbon, once it's pressed on, prints through. So when I traced my image, it traced it through onto the masking tape, which I've then cut out. Easy. Now I'm also screening off the bits of the guitar that I don't want to be painted because I'm about to spray paint it, and basically what I've just made with the masking tape is a stencil. So here I am in my spray booth and I'm spraying it white. It took 2 coats to really get the white on. Now the white is one of the 2 main colours I'm using. I'm using white and chrome. So what I did after I'd sprayed all the white area is I masked out all the pieces that I wanted to remain white. So only the pieces that I wanted to remain chrome are exposed, and then I sprayed it chrome. So here I am pulling off all the paper, revealing back the image on the case. This is one of the most exciting things. I read recently that Adam Savage of Tested fame, and if you don't know him, go and follow his YouTube channel, it is brilliant. But I read recently that he said removing the masking on something you've just sprayed is a bit like opening your presents on Christmas. You have a surprise of what's going to come out, and he's totally right. Now what I'll do is show you later why I've decided to put the image this way round on the case. But let's just have a close look up at the finish at the moment. Now I'm sure you can guess this is quite a fragile finish. I'm using Montana spray paints. I've made a whole video about why I love them. But it is going to be covered in a varnish afterwards, a 2K Spray Max. But first, here's my Cricut vinyl cutter. I bought this recently and I've used it so much on my guitar builds. From making stencils from logos, to stencils for paint jobs, and in this case, stencils to go on the case itself. Basically, I make a black and white design on something like Illustrator or Photoshop, or really any art program. Then I scale it up to the size I want on the Cricut software and print it out. It's essentially, when it prints, it plots with a knife and cuts the stencil. You can cut vinyl as well, but I'm cutting the stencil, and as you can see here, I'm removing the bits I don't want. These are the bits where I'm going to actually spray. That's Doctor Gothic's logo just there. Then you use something called transfer paper, which essentially you stick on the top of your vinyl, and it allows the vinyl to stick to the transfer paper when you pull back the non-sticky layer behind the vinyl. So the vinyl all stays in one space, but you're now exposing the sticky back of the vinyl. I hope this process makes sense so far. Then you take that vinyl stencil over to what you want. So for a guitar I'm about to make, I'm going to be taking this over to the guitar to then airbrush a design onto. But here I'm taking it over to my case, sticking it down where I want it to, and then peeling off that transfer paper to reveal just the stencil stuck onto the case. It's so clever. And now what I'm going to do is spray it. And what you might notice, for those of you that know my logo, is I'm doing this at the moment, I'm just doing the background of the logo. I'm going to be spraying this in one colour and then putting another stencil on top to spray the words on top in a different colour. And actually I want to spray it in green, but in order to do that I'm doing a primer of white to let the green really show through. With the Doctor Gothic logo, it's just a single stencil. I'm doing it in one colour. I decided to mask out some areas which are going to look black because the black of the case, and use the chrome that I used on the shard design that's also on the case. And here's the magic. Peeling back to reveal that green, and peeling back to reveal the Doctor Gothic logo. I love this process. I seem to be stenciling everything at the moment. And like I said, you can also use it to make vinyl stickers, which my workshop is soon going to be full of. If you'd like to know more about how to use the Cricut for different guitar related purposes, let me know. I'm also using it on some of my spaceship guitars that are coming up to cut plastic parts that I'm sticking onto the guitar. If you want to see more of them, make sure you like and subscribe to my channel. They're the next major thing that I'll be working on. So here I am laying a stencil over the green of the next layer, the words that are all going to be in white. Not only am I in my ventilated spray booth, which has got a massive explosion-proof fan in it, I'm also wearing my mask. Take no risks when you're working with solvents. Now I'm just cleaning it up with a tack rag. If you don't know what a tack rag is, it's a sticky rag that pulls up all the dust. Painting can be quite dusty. And then, for some reason in this video, it looks like I'm just waving a can of 2K Spray Max over the guitar case, but I am actually spraying it from one side to the next. And what I haven't filmed is I then went vertically as well. And here's the case. The reason I made it this way around is you can open it up and you can see the sign on stage in front of you if you want to. Now remember, that guitar's quite fragile, so I don't want it to bounce around in the case. So what I need to do is customise the case to fit. And the first thing I'm doing is removing this lid that goes over the sort of pocket box in there. You'll see why a bit later on. Partly it's because the neck gets in the way, and partly it's because I want to reuse the fur that's there. Then with my oscillating multi-tool, and also with a handsaw, I'm cutting out a chunk just to let the neck sit better in this case. I'm using a black marker to colour in the wood so that any exposed wood isn't noticed. And then using my cool melt glue gun, I'm sticking in some foam to protect the neck as it goes in there, and then covering it in some of the fur that I've taken off of the lid. And now you can see the guitar fits really well, nice and flat in there, and it's exactly the right size for the case, which is just pure fluke. But I still don't want it to bounce around, so I'm using a block of wood here, which is basically the thickness of the case, the depth of the case. And I'm marking in a part of the guitar on it. Essentially what I'm going to do is cut this piece of wood and stick it there so the guitar is really rammed and held in place. I'm going to put one piece on each side. So here I am with the other side. You can see how it's cut and how it fits so well that there's no give on the guitar once it's there. There won't be any give of the guitar in any direction because this wood is as thick as the guitar case. So the guitar's really clamped tight and held in place. Again, with my cool melt glue gun, I'm putting glue on it, covering it with some of that leftover fur. I keep saying fur, I guess it's felt, fur. And then trimming the fur to reveal one wooden side, that's the side that's going down, partly so I can save the fur and partly to help me glue it more securely. So you can see here, I'm gluing it in place with the guitar there, so I know it's being really held in exactly the right place. But some of you will be wondering, how strong is this glue really to hold it there? Well, it's not strong enough. So the glue is just to temporarily hold it before I drill some pilot holes and screw some screws in to make sure there's no give and no movement. And here you go, the guitar's being put in place. It basically pushes into that gap between those two wooden blocks, which won't allow it to move in any direction. Absolutely perfect for a guitar like this, an easy transformation for a case. I often make changes to the cases and customise them because my guitars are normally weird shapes and often have bits jutting out in all directions, which are fine for when you're playing on stage, but if you're taking it around on tour, you want to be careful. I recently made a Terminator guitar that I sent from the UK over to America, and that needed a special case as well. It was actually too thick for a normal sized case, so I customised that. And I've got a whole video that I'm in the process of making about that case. If you're interested, do like, subscribe to see more. And once again, thank you for following me on this great guitar build-off journey. I really hope you've enjoyed the guitar and the making process. If you have, Go over to my page on the Great Guitar Builder website. It's under my name, Daniel Wallace. There's a link in the description to this video on YouTube. You've got until the 5th of July 2021 to vote for your favourite guitars. Please give mine a like by hitting the heart button on my page. But if there are other guitars you like as well, you can vote for more than one. And do let me know what other ones you like so I can go and check them out. I'm definitely going to be voting for a few of my favourites. The videos have been so fantastic and enjoyable. So if you haven't seen anyone else's yet, do go exploring. Until next time, happy strumming.